important because it's not only convenient to have your bank nearby both for business and residents, but it also gives confidence in our local economy.
Now that the community bank's been here, we have found that they've been a marvellous support to the football club, cricket club and netball club.
Enjoyed this celebration today, 1 year celebration, birthday cake and everything, really good. Really enjoyed it, yeah.
Been involved with the community bank since day one when we ran out of other banks. About 11 years ago now, we lost all of our banking from a little coastal village at San Remo on the Bass Coast. A few people came to us and said, listen, what are we going to do about the bank? I said, well, we don't want to be travelling to Cowes or Wonthaggi all the time. You tell me. So David, who was the manager of the co-op, fishing co-op over there, got onto Bendigo. And they came back and said, well, let's form a committee, this is what we've got to do, and people from Bendigo come and see us. And I said, yeah, fine, great, yeah, well, you do that, and I'll come along to the meeting. And a lass from Bendigo came down to talk to us about what you had to do, etc. And we carried on from there, and out of that committee we processed into a community bank at San Remo, which was 18 months after. All the people in San Remo got behind it, all the businesses. About 2 years to form a committee in Cowes, which we did in 2006. The last year we were trying to raise that capital, etc. for Cowes. We had Grantville come along to us and say, what can you do for us, we're out there, we've never had a bank. They did have a bank back in the early 1900s when the bush rangers were there and hotels and all that sort of stuff. But so we said, well, this is what you've got to do. Come along and see us when you can form a committee. So they did that, and a year ago we opened up the Grantville Bank. I've lived in the area for 20 years. We came down in 91. We own a hardware store and hire, and it's a family. We've got 4 people in the family who all work here, etc., and keep on running it, and been involved in Lions clubs, etc., prior to and since we've been down here. The background, I've done many things in the course of life. I'm getting near the end of my tether now, but still very interested in the community and putting back into it.
Today was our first birthday. 1 year ago today, Grantville community took it upon us to have a branch open down here. And along with that, the community got together, for over 400 people put money aside to raise funds to get a community bank branch open. I think it's a celebration not necessarily for the staff of the branch, but it's more for the community and the shareholders to be able to celebrate and say, wow, look what we've done. Our bank at Grantville has really achieved.
Our concept of community banking is all of our profits for each year, 80% of our profits anyway, are turned back into the community in the form of sponsorships and grants, and the other 20% back to shareholders, which is a Bendigo Bank formula for community banks. So that makes the community bank much more community minded as far as I'm concerned, and I'm quite happy to work at it for nothing, which is what the directors of this bank do. We aren't paid money at all for what we do for the community in that sense, but it's very satisfying to get that money back in and see what we get out of it. I would say, without a word of a lie, I probably put in about 15 to 20 hours a week on banking business. I've found this quite challenging and keeps the brain ticking over. One of the major things which we've looked after in our term of profit, shall we say, over the last 4 years, is something very close to us here at San Remo. It's the San Remo Rec Centre, which is a building which is used by many people and many groups and kids and all that sort of stuff.
My name is Ray Dickey. I've lived in San Remo all my life, 75 years. That nearly makes me a local. And I've been involved as president of the Recreation Centre for 30 odd years. I've seen it grow from just a bare paddock to this. As you realise, with that many people using the building, there's a fair bit of cost goes into maintenance. We've just recently had occasion to have to put new lights in the stadium. I think we got about 15,000 for lights and air conditioner. And previous to that, we've had new curtains, probably well over 20,000 from the community bank. And To the district, this has been a fantastic bank because we had no bank in the town, which there was a couple of agencies and they left. And since the community bank has come in, it's been just the greatest thing that could happen.
When we first went into this venture of the community bank, I never expected it to be as big as it is, as far as giving back, the money you give back and the number of people and groups it can touch upon. And every time we do a decent sort of sponsorship or grant, you get much enjoyment out of watching those people when you do the presentation, watching their faces. And nowadays we have all of them, whenever they get anything like that, they've got to give us a 2-minute speech of what they're going to do with the money. And I have seen people virtually come to tears, because it's something that they would not have got. And it affects me very emotionally too. It's just a great feeling to be able to do this, and really it's no cost, but it's just to give. I think most of our directors feel the same way, to different degrees, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jo Smith and I'm the Breakfast Club Coordinator at Bass Valley Primary School, and we're just standing out the front of the Bendigo Bank on their first anniversary. What we're lucky enough to have is the Breakfast Club at the school, and the Bendigo Bank have been kind enough to give us a grant, and we've just been able to put a new kitchen in, and just as of today we're getting a new kitchen put in, and we feed 40 to 60 kids 3 mornings a week. And we've also got people that work in the bank. They come, they volunteer their time before they start work, and they provide aprons, and they're just so generous and just so helpful for us. It's just great.
I'm Councillor Veronica Dowman, Mayor of Bass Coast Shire Council. So this community bank allows us to we put our savings into the bank, and the bank gives back to us by donating and supporting infrastructure such as a beautiful park, sporting teams, the local primary school. So it's a genuine partnership.
My name is Ron Wiggins, Chairman of the Bass Recreation Reserve Committee of Management, and also on the steering committee. Well, I sort of got involved mainly because you sort of the bank puts more back into the community, and we got all the sporting bodies, there's 6 on the reserve, involved in the bank, and they've benefited and enjoyed it so far. And I think it's a great thing for the community because of that. I hope it grows, and it is. Terry said it's done a good first year. It takes a while to make a profit, but it's going well at the moment, and I hope it builds up.
My name's Gwen Wiggins and I live at Bass, which is a very small town. We don't have a school, but we do have a general store and a garage and a pub. Now, we are the centre for the sporting groups of this whole Bass Valley area. After waiting so many years to see things happening, it's just great to be able to see the improvements down there at Bass just from what the money generated from the community bank's done. It's good. We feel like we're in a win-win situation.
The community knows that it has a good future in front of it, economically, socially and environmentally. So we all work together and we all achieve what's best for our community, and having a bank here to help us do that is fantastic.
My old bank manager, who belongs to one of the major banks, no mention of where they were or who they were, told me when he heard we were doing this operation in San Remo, told me to go bust within 3 years. I still know that guy. He still sits in an office in Cowes. Unfortunately, he was wrong and we were right, and it makes me feel extremely pleased that this has happened, and it continues to happen. And I think as long as it's worked properly by all the people involved and on a directors type thing and getting communities involved, it will always work.
I feel very lucky, fortunate that we have such a wonderful community who actually strive and work hard to create a bank here, San Remo and Cowes, and it's all because of the community and people pulling together because they want a community bank.
I'm really pleased to be involved with it.
We're just hoping that this continues on for the next 5-10 years, and hopefully even further, because it's just been such a great community atmosphere, and just so grateful that they've helped us out, and it's a great partnership and we hope it continues.